In today's topic, I'm going to explain HTML input elements. So we generally use these input elements in the form. So we have different type of input types like button, checkbox, color, etc. So we will see how these inputs types can be used in a web page, and we'll create some examples on each and every input type. So let's talk about input button, right? So what we are using the syntax input type is equal to button, and you are giving some value, right? So whenever you click on this button, we want to make some action. Okay, so let's see in practical. I'm going to run this. Okay, so I have a simple page called registration page, and here I'm going to create a form. I can give some heading like school registration, and then I'll create a form here. Alright, so in this form, let me first use input type is equal to text. Input type is equal to text, and I'll say name is equal to first name, right? And I can give a placeholder here saying that enter your name. So this is the input type, and we are going to use input type as a button. So input type is equal to submit, we can say, or you can say button, and name is equal to click me. Right, you can give any name here, or you can say button 1, and value equal to something like submit or click me. So now let's save this and run this form. Okay, so now you can see there is a button showing click me, and you can type some name, and when you click on this, we need to do some actions by using JavaScript and form action methods. So that is how we generally create a button using HTML input type as button. So next we have checkbox. One of the important topic is checkbox. So checkbox is basically used to select multiple options, okay, from a given list. For example, whenever we want to select our hobbies, we can select singing, reading, anything, whatever it shows. So how to design checkboxes? We can use using input type is equal to checkbox, and we need to provide hobby, right? And the name as the hobby and the value. So let's see how to create this in the page. So here I'm just giving an title h. Let me create a break here. Then I will insert input. I can actually insert h2 here. Select your hobbies. Select your hobbies. So when you say select your hobbies, I'll just put one more break, and then we can say input type is equal to checkbox, okay, and name equal to hobby1, and you can say value equal to singing. Then we need to insert a label here. That way we can know what is the checkbox for. Label singing. So select, save this, and go back to the page. So now you can see here it is showing me the actual heading, select your hobbies, and I can select this checkbox. I can select, deselect. So whenever you see this blue tick, that is enabled, or you have selected that option. So let's create similarly couple more options in that. So I'll go back here, I'll just copy this, okay, and here I can say hobby2, hobby1, hobby2, and then hobby3. So instead of singing, I'll say reading, playing, etc. So here also we need to change the label, reading, and then playing. So whenever we are showing this singing as a label, we'll see the label inside the page. So now we can see singing, reading, playing. So I can select this checkbox, I can select this, I can select this. Okay. Now we can observe one thing here. Some users might be selecting this option by clicking on the label singing. So if I click on this, it is not selecting. If I click on singing, it is not selecting. It will only work if you click on this checkbox. Now how to enable the label also clickable, right? So we should use something called as for hobby 1. So whenever I click on this singing label, it should also select the checkbox. So for stands for hobby 1. The hobby 1 should be an ID. ID is equal to hobby 1. Okay. ID is equal to hobby 1. The name should match. Hobby 1 is the ID and I am using for. For is a new attribute for the selection of the checkbox using label. So let me save this, come back here, refresh. Now let's see, instead of clicking on checkbox, I'll click on singing. So it is selected. Now if I click on reading, it is not selecting because we have not given any attribute ID here. Okay, so let's copy this, ID equal to hobby 1. So since ID should be unique, I'll say hobby 2, hobby 3. So same for we need to use in the label element for hobby 2 and for hobby 3. So now it works as expected. Save this, refresh. If I select reading, it is selected. If I click on playing, it is selected. So this is how we use checkbox. Next input type is color. So we already have some color here. Let's use this color. So color is used to pick some colors. User can select his favorite color by using the input type color. So what I'm going to do, I'm writing some label here. Before that I can use break. Pick your favorite color. It gives a label called pick your favorite color, and then you are inserting the ID and the color name of the element and the value. So by default I want to display green color. So save this. So you can see that it is actually saying pick your favorite color. So now if I select something like red, you can select from here and you can submit. Okay, we'll see how to submit that. So let me take out this input from here. Okay, so next concept is date. So we want to select date of birth. If user wants to select the date of birth, he can select by using this option. So this here we need to say just input type as date. Now let's copy this, paste it here. So here we are using input type as date. So what happens if we are using input type as date? It is giving us the option to select the date. So let's say I am selecting August 11, 2020. So now when user click on submits, it will send the information to the server or for a different page. So let's check whether the details are getting passed or not. So how do I do that? So here in this form we need to say action equal to confirmation.html. So I have a confirmation page on the same example. You can see here confirmation page. So in this confirmation page we can see the information. So here I'll use input type, or you can say button. I can use button element, click me, or sign up. You can say sign up, sign up here. Okay, save this, open the page. So I am entering some details here. My hobby is reading and playing, so I'll choose my color as blue, and then I'll select the date of birth, something like click here, choose the year. 1 second. choose the year. So by default you can see the options here, scroll it, and we are not seeing, okay, one second, we are not seeing that previous years. You should scroll up like this. So now I want to select some date here, like go back more, and then you can select like this March, and you can select the date, and now you click on sign up here. So whenever you click on sign up here, the information you can see in the URL with the parameters, like F name is Srinivas, hobby I have selected reading and playing, and my color is this, and my date of birth is this. So this is how we can actually use the input types, and we can do the submission. So let's go back to the next option, email. So for using an email, instead of using input type is equal to text, we can actually use input type is equal to email. So let's see this. So here you can use input type is equal to email. So what happens if I am using type is equal to email? We can see here. So enter your email. One second, there is a typo here. Input email ID. Okay, input email. Yeah, so let's go back here. If I'm typing something like just ASDF, it is asking me to enter at the rate, because every email will have at the rate symbol. So that is how whenever you say input type is equal to email, it will restrict the user to enter the at the rate symbol. So let's say I'm saying at gmail.com. You can sign up. When you click on this, the data will be submitted. Next is input type is equal to file. Type is equal to file. So what is this input file? Whenever user or customer wants to upload a resume or any file, so we can use input type is equal to file. So let me copy this here. I'm just giving a new break line. Okay, so what it does now, it is saying please select a file, or you can say upload your resume. So this is how we can create a label, and I'm selecting input type is equal to file. Input type is equal to file. So let's go back here. So you can now see upload your resume. It says choose file. So from your computer you can choose the any of the HTML file and select upload. So that way it is getting uploaded. So whenever we want to use upload option, we can choose input type is equal to file. Then input is equal to text. So we have seen this in the beginning. Whenever we want to insert first name or last name, we use submit option. Sorry, type is equal to text. This is actually duplicated. Input type number. So number will restrict input type is equal to number. So whenever I use this property, user can only enter the phone numbers. For example, let's go here, or zip code. You can also use for the zip code or the postal code, because zip code, if it is only containing numeric, we can choose. Phone number is always numeric, so I'm using input type is equal to number. So what happens now, let's see. Okay, so when I say phone number here, let me try to insert something alphabetical. It is not letting me, but if I want to insert like numbers like this, you can insert. Okay, so whenever you use input type is equal to number, we can only enter the numeric numbers. So the next topic is on the same concept, input type password. So whenever we create a login page or registration page, user can create his password, but it should not be visible, right? So for example, we can go back to this page and I'll show you how to use that. Break. Input type is equal to password and name equal to new password. I can create a label here. Enter your password, enter your, or you can say create your password, create your new password. So let's check this. Okay, so if you see here, it is saying create your password. Now it has a concept like if you type any alphabet or any password, it is showing dots, which means it is not visible for the user. Okay, then let's go back to the next topic. Input type is search. Search is almost similar to input type text. So let's see what is the difference between the type is equal to text and type is equal to search. So here I'm inserting label my search. Okay, let me save here. Okay, all right, so go back here, go back to the page. So we can see here search Google. So let's say I'm entering something here. Now you can notice here it is similar to the enter your name, like a text box. Some of the difference is that when you type in a search box, it is actually showing X mark. When you click on this, it will delete. But whereas in the text box, you need to delete one after the other element. Okay, so that is one of the difference between input type is equal to text and the search. So next option is radio button. We have seen this example whenever we want to use whenever we want to select only one option from multiple options, we use this. So for true or false, it can be only one answer, then we need to use input type is equal to radio. So let me select this and put it here. Save this and go back to this page. So here you can see that male and female. So whenever I click on this, I can only select one option, and this is used very rarely. Input range, so whenever we wanted to create an option like adjust the volume or calculations, percentage calculations, we can use input type is equal to range, and you can give the minimum and max value. Okay, and similarly time. So if user want to select some time when to contact or when you can come for the interview, so those kind of options we can use by input type is equal to time. So URL will actually restrict like email. So URL should be something like http://google.com, and then telephone. So this is one of the important concept. Whenever we want to create some formatting structure, right? So phone number should be 423-63-. So we can select a pattern. So what is a pattern? We are creating a set of rules. That means a number should be in the following format. Let's see how we can use this. Okay, let me go back to the code. So here I'm inserting this. So you are using a label, enter your phone number. So here I can actually say it as zip code because I'm already using the label here. So input zip code, enter the zip code. Okay, enter the zip code. Number is zip code and name is zip code. Alright, so now we can use TEL, telephone, right? So input type is equal to telephone indicates that you can only use some numbers with some pattern, which means the pattern says that you can use first three letters from 0 to 9, and then we should have dash, and then we should have 0 to 9 two numbers, then dash, and the next three numbers should be again 0 to 9. So this is the some of the example I am giving. The number should be in the following format. So let's save this and see. So here you can see that enter a phone number. If I am trying to enter something like this and click on it says please match the requested format. What is the requested format? Like this. So I would say something like 51252-45-749. So if you want now, so you can submit like this. Registration is successfully completed, it is showing, but I just use that option. So this is how we can use input type is equal to telephone, TEL. Okay. So if you want to have some structure like first four digit, we should have four numbers before dash, you can change the number here. So this is how we can create our pattern using input type is equal to tel and use the pattern attribute. So if you have any questions, please comment. Thanks for watching.